Hello, everyone. It's Mark Ruiz coming at you on the very first video Mind on Money podcast. We are going to be producing these podcasts based upon topics in the column, and we're going to be doing it from some of my favorite spots in Northwest Indiana. Right now, we are probably at my favorite spot in Northwest Indiana, which is the Trail Yard Grill and Coffee Shop in Valparaiso. The trail yard is right next to the Creekside Mountain Bike Trails, where I spend a ton of time working out on the trails. And actually write my column here in the coffee shop pretty often. And then I love to take the family out for dinner and drinks on the deck. So come check out Trail Yard when you get a chance. It's a beautiful facility. So today my mind is on the debt ceiling. It's the debt ceiling debate is reaching a very high level of noise in the financial press as the president and the Congress attempt to work out a deal to raise the debt ceiling of the United States, which will allow our government to borrow more money to fund its operations. So, in the column, I had a little fun with it, talking about maybe a post debt ceiling failure world, which would be a Sunday morning on June 3rd, where I envisioned that the world has not, in fact, ended and that maybe we can still have water coming out of the spigots and the lights are still on because the government has plenty of money to fund its operations. If you think about the $4.8 trillion the government is projected to take in 2023, which is an all-time record, by the way, showing that lower tax rates and a flatter tax system can generate more revenue over time. $4.8 trillion is a lot of money. It comes out to 400 billion a month, $100 billion a week projected to flow into the federal government. They have to take that money and run all kinds of programs, but they also have to use that money to pay the interest on the debt. The interest on the debt in 2023 is projected to be about $650 billion. So with 4.8 trillion coming in, it's pretty easy to see that they will in fact have the revenue to pay the interest on those bonds as they're due. And so I think an actual default is probably pretty low probability, but some sort of debt ceiling negotiation is probably a little more likely to fail than an actual default. And so if a default occurs, I talked about a little bit in the column where, maybe the government might make a high profile point to maybe close our national parks and put a chain across the Cowles Bog Trail out there by the dunes, just so we can't use it. So we know that everybody is on an austerity track. They might also threaten to maybe delay some Social Security payments, which would send certain members of our country into a tizzy. But I don't think they're going to come out and say they're not going to pay the interest on the bonds, because that is actually a default and that would have serious repercussions. And so my guess is this is all just kind of speculation because once again, we don't know what would really happen. Is that the government does have a plan. They will prioritize federal revenues and direct them toward bond payments, and the financial markets will definitely get disrupted before the negotiations are over. But I do think once the government, even if they do fail to raise the debt ceiling, the government will reveal a plan to make sure the bonds are functioning and getting their coupons paid. And I don't think it's something I would make any kinds of long-term or big financial decisions based around. I think this will come and go. It's happened before. It'll happen again. And I would pay attention to other risks when I'm managing my portfolio beyond just that ceiling debate. So that's it for me today. I appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you all soon.